Speak, O God, your word among us. Barren lives your presence fill. Swell our hearts with songs of gladness. Terrors calm, forebodings still. Let your promised realm of justice blossom now throughout the earth. Your dominion bring now near us. We await the saving birth. In the name of God, amen. Even though Advent doesn't begin until 2 weeks from today, what the church gives us to read this morning is beginning to turn away from what the church calendar calls ordinary time. And it begins to turn towards upheaval and cataclysm and reversal. We're in Jerusalem this morning with an unnamed disciple gawping up at the temple. He's a country boy, we can understand. But already the upheaval and the cataclysm and the reversal of Bethlehem, the Prince of Peace born in a stable, is making itself felt for us today. We need saving. And the shape of salvation, marks Jesus is telling us, the shape of salvation is going to be more than we can frame, ask for, or imagine. Do not be alarmed, says Jesus. This is but the beginning of the birth pangs. An improbable, upending birth is coming. This must take place. And as any mother knows, as Mary knew, new life begins with a scream. It can seem for all the world, at first, like a kind of death. Since about 2005, a small number of churches have adopted a 7-week Advent. So some of our brother and sister parishes here in the Diocese of Massachusetts are already on the second Sunday. I'm intrigued by this idea because it makes room for deeper reflection on some of the truths that the late autumn lectionary shares with us anyway. Advent differs from Lent, that other purple season, insofar as it is about anticipation and hope. Anticipation and hope. That's what we hear this morning in the letter to the Hebrews. Let us hold fast to the confession of our hope without wavering. Let us consider how to provoke one another to love and good deeds. And not neglecting to meet together, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Provoking one another to good deeds. Does that sound easy? Or does that sound kind of challenging? That's an Advent text, isn't it? Day approaching, its last word to us. Even as the world grows darker, dimmer, and colder, that's not, Advent reminds us, the end of the story. Keep awake. Now, perhaps you, like me, feel the pull of Advent at work already, because the world just now seems so uncertain. A therapist would name this as a liminal season, a threshold season. a hold fast and see what's coming season. Even those of you pleased with the outcome of the recent election seem startled by certain dimensions of it. And, needless to say, here in an ostensibly blue state, with a self-understanding as reliably left of center, a number of you have shared with me your feelings of bafflement and dread. There's a complicated and varied set of perceptions and diagnoses in play right now across the state, across the country, and here in our own church. Concerns about a continuing mainstreaming of racism and misogyny in our national life. Alarm that the civil rights gains of recent years of those we identify, or who identify as LGBTQ, will be withdrawn. That the wealth gap will continue to widen. That recent progress towards alleviating climate change will be reversed. I've mostly been listening and reading email and praying and giving thanks for each one of you. Bubbling to the surface of what so many of you have been sharing with me is, in fact, thanks for the reality of life together in community and the deepening of that common life in the time to come. Let us hold fast to the confession of our hope, says the anonymous author of the letter to the Hebrews, to Jews living in Rome on the dangerous fringes of an uncertain time. And I think that from their time to our own, the lives and ministries of healthy churches has been consistent. We must continue to seek and speak the truth to one another and to offer a witness of truth to the world around us. Secondly, we must continue to understand who is vulnerable and care for them. Finally, we must never forget that our purpose, mission, and goal, our product, if you will, is love. Truth, care for the vulnerable, love. That is our Trinity. Your people shall be delivered. Your people shall be delivered, promises the reading from Daniel this morning. Delivery. Another birth term cropping up this morning. The promise is not that this will be easy or without friction or shock or new learning or loss. And birth doesn't come in any other way. Speak, O God, your word among us. Barren lives your presence fill. Swell our hearts with songs of gladness. Terrors calm, forebodings still. Let your promised realm of justice blossom now throughout the earth. Your dominion bring now near us. We await the saving birth. Amen.